Hello there, everyone. All right, we're back on Free to Play Day, Friday. I feel like I could have said that better. Let's show you what's been going on here. Okay, so not too much to actually go through, which I feel is quite good in terms of we got a load of cards in the first couple of parts of this free to play series, whereas it's slowing down a little bit now. So let's just show you what we've actually unlocked since last time, which I believe was Claire. So we got Maximus, which is oddly enough something we were going to put in the Nightmare deck if we got it. So I actually think I got that after the video, which was pretty funny for me. But yeah, when I was talking about if you wanted to sub out Rhino, Maximus would be a good inclusion. There you go. So yeah, on reveal, your opponent draws 2 cards. We don't really want that on reveal, so that would be a great Nightmare target. Anyway, moving on, we got Arnim Zola. Now, I actually got that from the free Series 3 pack that we get in the every month for the season. So yeah, that was just a decent pick for me because I thought I want to go down the destroy line at some point. I didn't know exactly when I was going to do it, but yeah, I thought Arnim will be a good piece of that puzzle. So I thought let's pick him up now rather than waiting for him to drop in a collector's reserve. Then we pulled Kingpin. Unlike Wilson Fisk, which is one of the new cards, Kingpin, 1/3 stat line. When an enemy card moves here, afflict it with -2 power. Can be okay in push decks where you're trying to move your opponent's cards around, but it probably gets moved out of deck in terms of in favor of some more powerful cards. Then we got Cerebro ongoing. Your highest power cards here are +3 power with a 3/0 stat line. Now, I did try a Cerebro deck. I wanted to do that today. I don't feel like I've got all the pieces of the puzzle that I want for it, but I definitely think there's potential for Cerebro to be the next one or one of the next ones we do. Because, for instance, we've got Mbaku here. Again, a 1/3 stat line. At the end of the game, this jumps from your deck to the lowest power location that isn't full. Mbaku is a fun card. He's very frustrating because you put him in your deck and you just know that he will be drawn into your hand. But when that very rare occasion he doesn't get drawn and he's still in your deck at the final turn, it's so fun just seeing him come out. So yeah, very memey but very fun as well. Then we got Havoc. Now, I actually didn't realise Havoc was a Series 3 card, so I was surprised at that. But the text is end of turn, you lose 1 max energy, and this gains +3 power. I do believe that Havoc has kind of got tied to the end of turn archetype, which we can't really build ourselves right now. But he has had some success in the past with Agent Venom decks, which again are a bit tricky to build right now. So not really a useful card for us at this point, but maybe down the line it'll gain some utility. Then we got Rescue. On reveal, if you play a card at this location next turn, +5 power. Rescue is probably high on the list of cards that need a buff, but probably never will for some reason. I mean, I don't know why, right? Because the art on these cards for Rescue is actually pretty good. I wish I could show all the variants right now. But, you know, it's quite a well-designed art in terms of the art card. Yet, they've just not deigned to give the card a buff of any sort. So, hopefully one day. Because I would love to do a Rescue deck. But, at best, it's a 4/9. Well, I say best without doubly not on reveal or anything. But, yeah. It needs some improvement, let's say that. And then the final 2 cards we got are Wasp, which is just a vanilla 0/1 with a text saying my secret power is that I get things done. It's essentially anything that goes in a Patriot build, which we haven't got, or in High Evolutionary, which we haven't got. Although, saying that, sometimes just having a zero cost card is helpful in terms of if you want to play 2 cards in one turn, but you've only got a 2 cost in hand, that way you can do 2 cards still. And then finally, we've got Magneto. Magneto is one of the best 6-cost cards in the game in terms of longevity. As long as I've been playing this game, it's been a 6/12 with the same text. Brilliant in terms of surviving all the changing landscape of the game. On reveal text, it's move all enemy 3 and 4-cost cards to this location. Brilliant disruption. You would think it would be great against Silver Surfer decks because you tend to play a lot of 3-cost cards in those decks. But I feel like usually they're filling locations up, so it's very tricky to move them. But every now and again, you can find some decks that have some 3s and 4s that are maybe a bit tied to a location. You can just go, right, let's move all of them. So Magneto can have his moments. So the big question is, what are we playing today? Let's show you. You probably had a little idea of what it was going to be. We're playing a Destroy deck. So this is something that I've not covered on the channel. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to cover it. But also, when I was looking at the stats online, this was actually one of the higher performing decks. Let me just show you in full. Sorry, I haven't actually looked at this for a day or two. It looks like the Nightmare Shell's really pumped up there. I am amazed at that, but I'm loving it. I don't know. That isn't my exact cook because I know I didn't have Maximus. I had Rhino. But I think that is nearly the same. I don't think I included Zero either, did I? What did I put in? Gladiator. That's what I had. So 2 differences, but I am chuffed to see that. I feel like I was on a good little path with that deck. Anyway, just stop tooting me own horn a second. This is the deck that I was actually talking about, the Destroyer build. So when we go on Untapped and we have a look at the stats, rank 70 to 100, we're looking at average cube rate, and we're filtering by the latest patch, which was Thursday's OTA, which was a bit mid. This is the deck we came out with. Now, the win rate is a bit low at 53%. Only 58 games played with this these filters, just for the fact that, yeah, unfortunately... actually, let me just do one quick check. If I sync now, will that change anything? I don't know if it might... No, nothing changes. Right, so, yeah, it's pretty much... I wouldn't say a basic Destroy package, but it's probably what you can afford when you haven't got something like Death, for instance. So... I've had a few games with it in my own time. I think there's some interesting playlines. I do feel like we missed Death, though. Death is such a fantastic card in Destroy. I've said it recently in one of the tier lists that Sabretooth for me is just a little underpowered or a little undercooked. I feel like he does need something. Angel for me is not a top card either. But we are going to power through because when you think these are the other top performing decks, and I've played all of them. So we are going to go into the one that I haven't played. So let's just break down the deck in a bit more detail. Okay, so Deadpool's probably the big engine of this deck. A 1/1 stat line, when destroyed, return this to your hand with double the power. We want to get as big a Deadpool as we possibly can. So that is one of the aims. There is a sub-aim, if you like, with it. But yeah, the more times we can destroy Deadpool, the better. Then we got Nova. Nova is a 1/1 with the text, when destroyed, give your cards +1 power. I genuinely think Nova could probably go up to gives 2 power again, but maybe I'm just being a little reminiscent of the days that I didn't actually experience, but they sounded pretty good. Anyway, we've got Bucky Barnes, 2/2 stat line. When destroyed, replace this with the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier's vanilla text, but a 2/7 stat line. Then we got Carnage, a 2/2 stat line. On reveal, destroy your other cards here, +2 power for each one destroyed. We've got Angel, a 2/3 stat line. When one of your cards is destroyed, this flies out of your hand or deck to replace it. Now, like I said with Angel, I feel like if there is a positive to Angel, it's the fact that it's a body to destroy. So, say I've got 3 cards in a lane. Say we've done Deadpool, we've done Nova, and we've done Carnage. Just for 3 there's some 3 cards to destroy, but you get my gist. It's like we're destroying stuff. It's pretty helpful that then Angel comes out, and one, if in that situation I've just listed, it would be buffed by Nova being destroyed, but also it can then be something that we can aim to destroy after. So there are benefits. I just don't think the benefits outweigh the kind of mehness of it. You know, I feel like if Angel was like a 5/10 that flew out of your deck, I think it would be more fun. Or maybe not even like 5/10, maybe like make it a 10/20 or something. You know, something absolutely ridiculous, like you could never play it. But if you destroy something, it comes out. Now, that would make it fun. But then again, I'm not sure it could be a Series 1 card then. So, yeah. Again, I'm probably being dopey there, thinking that is ever in the realms of possibility. But yeah, it makes me think if there's ever a way you could buff Angel, like not necessarily like the devs. I mean, us as players, like maybe deck buff abilities or hand buff abilities. Just play into that a little bit, but I just don't think there is. It's a shame because it can be interesting, but at 2/3, there's not a lot that is overly interesting about it, if that makes sense. Anyway, we've got Wolverine, 2/3 stat line. When discarded or destroyed, regenerate this with +2 power at a random location. So, yeah, we're going to try destroy Wolverine, so he gains power. Nice and straightforward. Then Killmonger, 3/3 stat line. On reveal, destroy all 1-cost cards. Brilliant ability. It destroys ours cards, it destroys our opponent's cards. You just can't beat a bit of Killmonger. Again, one of the most balanced cards in the game. Only time it's ever changed was during the Apocalypse last year, which was really an outlier. So, yeah, brilliant card. Venom, 3/3 stat line. On reveal, destroy your other cards here, add that power to this card. I vaguely remember when I first started playing Snap, Venom was a 3/1, and he was really underplayed then because it was just a low starting point. So it's amazing how much that 2 power on base improved him. But yeah, Venom can always be a chunky boy, so for that reason we do love him. Then we've got Deathlock, a 3/5 stat line. On reveal, destroy your other cards here. No real flavour to it, it's just basically put me down, I'll destroy, done. So I I always like to cut Deathlock when I can, but at this stage of my collection on this account, I can't afford to. So yeah, Deathlock's here. Then we've got Sabretooth, a 3/5. When destroyed, return this to your hand at cost 0. Ideally, we would be able to destroy Nova first, so it gains a buff. Equally, if there are locations that buff buff cards, it would be played into there. Otherwise, it's just a 0/5 in our hand when destroyed. Shang-Chi, a 4/3. On reveal, destroy an enemy card here that has 10 or more power. Shang isn't always the first choice to play, but if we know our opponent's playing big cards, it's quite helpful just to be able to have that up our sleeve. But yeah, not necessarily the first thing I choose to play. And then finally, Knull. I feel like in final turns, it can come down to, do we want to play Knull, or do we want to play Shang-Chi Deadpool? And it all depends on the power of the Knull. So, with the ongoing ability of as the combined power of all cards destroyed this game, not just yours but your opponent's as well, it does come to the point of asking, will my Knull be more powerful than what I could do with Shang-Chi and the Deadpool I've built up? And potentially a Sabretooth that's free as well. So, sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't be. So, you just have to weigh that up. So as you saw with the untapped stats, it's not the highest win rate deck, but it is doing decent with cubes. So with that in mind, we're going to do 10 games. Let's see how we get on. Alright, we're up against Venom. Alright, what are you doing here? They play Ant-Man. Okay, that gives me a little note of caution because they could also have armor. We're going to play Bucky Barnes this turn simply because I want a Deathlock, and Bucky Barnes Deathlock's nice. Okay, Doctor Strange feels very odd. It makes me feel I've got bot alerts, let's say that. We'll play the Deathlock. Could just be a local action player. It is hard to tell based off that. Okay, they really whiff there. Nice group variant, though. Okay. Let's play this and this. Just buff them up. Oh, I've got to be grateful they aren't filling up the raft. Yeah, let's I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing here, but I think we're going to go like this. Okay, Wolverine's 10 power on the left. Oh, okay. So yeah, Nolan win, I guess. All right. I have to assume that was a bot because some of those plays were weird, but I will take it 4 cubes. Just a very quick shout out about my alliance. Wraiths, Neef, thank you very much for holding the fort in terms of you doing your bits with the cubes and bounties, whereas I feel like I'm lagging behind, so thank you. Okay, facing Nathan. We've got Nova, we can play that in Hotel Inferno. They choose not to banish one of my cards, that's very kind of them. I got rid of their Shang-Chi. I'm happy. Okay, Agent Coulson. And that's a bit of a bummer in terms of we don't really get much benefit out of Nova, but it has drawn Angel out. Um, rank 98 is the highest they've achieved, collection level 1697. That's potentially a bot, but I don't know for sure. By the way, Coulson got the 3-5 stat line recently. I was thinking that would be nice for him, so I'm glad they did it. Ooh. Yeah, that came out in the wrong order with Killmonger. Let's just destroy. I need room. Not particularly nice destroying Killmonger, but it charges up Knull a bit. Ooh, okay, that's not what I want them to have. Uh, let's do that and that. I need a destroy card, though. Rescue was in the deck. Well, or was it? Yeah, it was. I think it just took a bit of time showing on the deck tracker. Let's do that, and let's do that. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing here. All right, they've gone very tall right. Where's Wolverine going? Okay, not particularly where I wanted him. Hmm. They could win the left quite easily. If they play Knull, they can only, like me, if they play Knull, they can only win one location. So I'm thinking maybe we just go here. Feels risky though for 4. Let's see if it's enough. 14 and nah, it's nowhere near. I really needed to destroy one more thing to. But well, I say one more thing, whilst also playing the Knull. Yeah, I shouldn't have stuck in for 4 there. That was obvious what they were thinking for turn 6. I just didn't have a way of challenging it because I would definitely have lost that location if I didn't match it. So yeah, I had to just hope that they played Knull probably here. I don't know why I'm saying that because that wouldn't have been enough still. Okay, Diogo rocking a multiple man portrait. Iron Fist. Let's see if you are a good mover or if you're just a shaker. We'll play Wolverine on the ninja. No, you're not a good mover. Quite literally one of the worst plays you could make with a move card, even if it's not even a move target, is just playing it left. Alright, let's Sabretooth. Oh, I could have played it in Vormir. Ah, well. Yeah. Um, let's do that, and let's do that. That's alright. Yep, Wolverine's okay there. I'm thinking let's just take out a big card. I say a big card. Oh, okay. They're venoming. Not what I would have expected, I'll be honest. Um, I think we'd just do that. You know, Wolverine could bounce, but at the very least we could challenge mid a bit. My guess is they just Heimdall. Means we lose left, but we should be okay mid. Because we've got 10 from Deathlock. Do we have enough? No, one power short. Oh, okay, that's irritating. Yeah, Wolverine bouncing mid would have won it. Yeah. I did make a misplay originally with Sabretooth. I should have played that into Vormir straight away, and then a 0 Sabretooth could have been utilised in another way. But, yeah, still not ideal. All right, opening hand. We're up against Daz, and we've got Wolverine, and we've got Murder World. I like that combination. All right, we get Deathlock. Let's do that. Lizard. I'm going to do this purely to build up a Knull. Oh, come on, really? You've got destroy cards in a lizard build? Okay, come on. By the way, X-23 would definitely be in this deck if I had it. Yeah, to clarify, X-23, when discarded or destroyed, regenerate this at a random location and you get +1 energy next turn. Series 4 card now. Yeah. Let's just destroy these. They Moon Girl and Deadpool. Okay. Wolverine's not really bouncing where I want it to bounce that much. I feel like at this point, I can't really build up Deadpool much more without not being able to play Knull. So, saying that, I don't know if I want to play Shang-Chi next turn. I'm going to give that X-23 an extra destroy, which I didn't want to do, but I've kind of been forced into it a little bit. Yeah, this is not a good condition for a win now. They've got 8 energy. I've got 6. Yeah, I'm retreating. This is not a successful mirror match. Plus it's Boomer Snap. But just supposing they hadn't snapped and I was going to see it out, I would have Shang-Chi'd this lane because I think that's why they play something big. And then I'd have tried Deadpool in here, but we were already against odds there because that would have been 11 and that would have been, let's just say, 15 depending on what they played there. So yeah, it was up against it anyway, but yeah, the snap sort of pushed me into retreating. Okay, not the best of opening hands. We've got 3 costs and a 6 cost. We could do with going on the lower end of the curve. Bucky is better. If that's armor, I am in a spot of bother. Let's just guarantee a destruction with Sabretooth. Alright, they play Rhino. Angel comes down. We're actually level on power, so we gain priority. Let's do that. Nice bit of power in the mid. Bit of a late snap. It's a habit I can't get out of, the idea that I will snap after I've pressed end turn. I need to remember to press it before. Alright, they're playing Sandstorm. That gives them rocks equal to the with power equal to the cards on the front lane, so that would have been, I think, 3 power rocks. Hmm. I don't necessarily need to play Sabretooth this turn. Okay, I don't like the snap. Killmonger can be our win condition in terms of if they're playing Sandstorm and they want rocks, then we can counter that. I need to lose priority though. That's difficult to do. Yeah, maybe we just do that. I'm not sold on it, but let's see. Okay, so that's a fair chunk of power. I just don't know what they've played left. Patriot. Ozymandias. Yeah. I get why they snapped, but I think against Destroy deck that was a little bit silly. I mean, the chances are I got a Killmonger in the deck, and considering I could hide it, their best bet would have been to try and hide the rock, essentially. So they'd have probably been better playing the rocks in Dark Dimension and playing Ozymandias out of Dark Dimension, because at least then I would have destroyed first. So I feel for them a little bit there, because they did have a win condition, or at least something that maybe would have been a more efficient play, but I think they just didn't line it up well. Okay, Cal Castus. Taco Truck. Will be nice if we pulled Deadpool, but for now, we'll hold on to it. Also, would be good with Sabretooth. They're playing Thanos. Killmonger would like to meet those stones. Ooh, we're getting some rocks. That is nice. We'll do that. I want to hold on to the Chimichanga until I... Oh, Valentina. Add a random 6-cost card to your hand. Give it -2 cost and -2 power. Okay, we get the rock. What is the third location? Hellfire. Alright. We're going to do this right now. We're going to hold on to the Chimichanga still. Alright, Living Tribunal from Valentina. Quite interesting. Oh, they're playing Arisham. I've only just seen the deck size. Okay, that is pretty fun. Okay, Wolverine goes mid. Okay, unfortunately I can't play 1 cost right. We could do that though, to just get the Chimichanga powered up as such. Let's go there. Time Stone. Rock, Venom. Okay. Hmm. I'm okay with that, I think. Sadly, no destruction on Sabretooth, but he's a 7 power body, it's okay. Would have been nicer if Wolverine had bounced right. Okay, Thanos and the Rock. Well, a Rock, not Dwayne Johnson. Okay, I think we have got a win line here where we go 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to snap just because I think they'd retreat, but let's see how it goes. Ooh, okay. That was spicy. Ah, they get the win. Xiao Lao was a very tasty card there. Yeah, Arisham draw as well. The only two cards they played that were their own were Valentina and Thanos. So they did well with a lot of created cards. I'll give them their due. Um, yeah, there wasn't really a way to counter that much more. I mean, I suppose what I could have done is play the Rock right. Sorry, not right, mid. At the time, I was thinking I need to make more power on the left, but as it turned out, we didn't need it. So, yeah, on the flip side, I don't think I could have predicted that final play in terms of Xiao Lao on a stone. So, even though it wasn't nice losing that one, I'm not too gutted because I think that was a play where you couldn't really guess what they were going to do. Like, I'm actually curious what their other 10 cards were. Okay, J. We're getting another chimichanga. It's almost as if they want me to eat Mexican food. Skip a turn. Kitty Pride. I really could do with thinking of a kitty deck to play. It's a card I do like. Okay, that's actually quite good. Nico's very good with destroy builds, depending on the spell. That wouldn't be one of them. Let's play Bucky Barnes down. They're playing Merlin and Chimichanga. What's their collection level? Wow, 1,101. They're higher, sorry, lower collection level than me, yet they're actually doing quite well. Um, yeah, let's just do Sabretooth for now. Going for Bishop. And we'll go Wolverine Carnage. Angel will come out of our hand, fill up the mid, or go in the mid. Okay, that's good for us. I was worried that Wolverine would fill up the mid. Okay, Polymorph is going to transform the lowest power card, i.e. Angel, into one that costs one more. So Angel becomes Starbrand. Okay. Not sure if that's good or bad. Okay, Nico still hasn't given us the ability I want. Um, Definitely not a great play line. I wanted to try and build up Knull a bit more. That's why we went down this line. So, Kitty, Sabretooth, Polymorph. So the Sabertooth's a copy of mine from Daily Bugle. I haven't seen anything else though that was definitely mine. They've got Prio, so depending on the number of cards they play, they could build Bishop up to a 10 power cost. And there's a bit of me that would rather remove a Bishop than a Star Brand. So I'm thinking maybe we go 1, 2, 3. If they play one card, I look dumb. But if they play 2, we might be alright. They play 2, so we're okay. Depends what they do here, I guess. Which one gets destroyed? Xiao Lao again, by the way. Bit brutal in these early decks. We're fine. Alright. At least we got around it this time. So, 2 cubes. Okay, Dralf. Bit of an interesting name. Is it meant to be Dr. Alf? Let's Nova. They Vulture, I Nova. Okay. So that Vulture could get chonky. Alright, they're feeling confident. We're not going snap. I don't lose 8 cubes because they've recognised they're up against a real player. Although I am curious if they're roping me now. Like trying to force the snap. Okay, Iron Fist. Let's go Sabertooth. If they got Human Torch, this could get a bit messy. Okay, so they're moving a 1-power ninja across. It was a 50-50 of which one it would hit, so not the best choice. Especially considering I can destroy it. You know what? I think I'm actually going to snap back now. We're going to do that. Two cubes. I mean, arguably right, they shouldn't have snapped. You know, that was not a great snapping condition at that point. But how I view it, they ended up with 4 1 costs on the board, and I got a Killmonger in the wings. So I thought, well, I've got a snap now. You know, I honestly think I was going to win that. They'd have had to have played something much chunkier to really worry me, like, say, Human Torch, as I say, because it's a 3 cost. Maybe a Dagger, but arguably at this collection level, Iron Fist's your best mover, so I don't know how they would have moved it. For the record, right, I know that there's a thing about when I'm on, when I'm actually recording for you guys, you want to see gameplay. I completely understand that. But I think in a situation like that last game, it is best if I do snap, just for the fact that I want to show how you should climb to infinite. So, yeah. Just want to put it out there. I could understand if there was a bit of, why did you snap about that? I never tempo Angel out, but there's a bit of me thinking it might be ideal to have Angel in Camelot. Just for the fact it's a 2-power buff. And that was actually a very weird choice by them. Knull down for free is okay. I don't particularly like it on board in case there's something that doesn't like an Enchantress or a Shang-Chi or something, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not too worried about Nova. We're going to get reduced in power here, sadly. Okay, Colossus is actually decent for them there. I will give them that. For the sake of the null, I'm thinking let's do that. I'm thinking, can we then challenge right? Final turn. Because it feels like they've gone very heavy left by comparison. If they, like I say, if they've gone Enchantress or Shang-Chi for mid, well, Enchantress would be wild in this deck. Okay, I'm not fond of that. We'll stick it out just because I'm curious, but yeah, Shang-Chi would wreck my day in the mid. I'm trying to think what could win them right. Because there's 10 power right, even though it would drop. Namor? Ant-Man. Okay, so we get rid of the Ant-Man. Namor could be too much, though. Yeah, it's too much. We get reduced by 1, they don't. Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate one, that, because Namor was not really doing its ongoing effect, obviously, because it wasn't the only card there, but Colossus was the MVP for him. I mean, I said this a little bit ago with Colossus, that I think if he was more powerful, like, he was, say, a 3/6 for argument's sake, I think people would like him a bit more. But because he's just a 2/4 and a bit small and not so significant, people overlook it. But he has got some decent effects in his card. And I say it like this because even sitting here, I'm like, yeah, but I don't include Colossus in any of my decks. And I don't know why. Sometimes he has got utility. It's not like a card you'll put in every deck. But, like, say you pull him in, like, an Arisham deck or something, he isn't actually the worst card. So, yeah, it kind of shows in games like this. All right, Central Park will be good if we can pull Killmonger. Again, I really wish we had Death, though. Okay, we have got the Killmonger. Bucky, Shadowlands Daredevil. I think we hold on to the Killmonger as long as we can. Oh, very nice combo. Actually, oh, I mean, that would be tasty if it landed. I'm not sure it will land, but it would be very tasty if it did. If not, we could always try and Killmonger next turn or something. Oh, you spoil sport. I don't blame him. It's the efficient thing to do, but I've got to call him a spoil sport for it. Okay. We hold on to the Killmonger, I think. We just count Deadpool as dead here, so let's play Venom. Just try and build up a null that if we can pull it. Okay. Let's do Wolverine and Sabretooth. They obviously like being together. Nothing in lore ever suggests otherwise. I don't know what we do turn 6 right now, because Killmonger on its own is a bit of a dud. Ooh, that's not bad. I mean, Test charged us up a bit. Yeah, I think as it stands, we go like that. I mean, it's even tempting to do that, but I get the feeling they're going to play a 1 cost. So let's see how it goes. Alright, they're getting rid of that. There's the demon. Oh, they got enough there on the right. Damn. I forgot about Fantastic. It's a shame. I thought we'd done okay there. I knew a demon was going to come down. I wasn't expecting the Enchantress. So, yeah, I'll give them the due. There was something interesting in what they cooked, especially considering what's the collection level? 610, wow. So, yeah, I'll give them the due. Not a lot of cards. They've done well there. Utilize the season pass card well. I think for myself, that's just a little disappointing because ideally I would have moved that Deadpool, but the Scarlet Witch was very devious. So yeah, just a little bit frustrating. So I do wish I could say something else, but that last game really wrecked me. I went from +1 cube rate to -7. Obviously, I went from 4 and 5 to 4 and 6 as well. So yeah, what I will say, right? I think this is like the earliest iteration of a destroy deck that is usable. You think about the likes of Death coming into this deck. You've got X23, Nika Minoru. These are just cards off the top of my head. There's probably a couple more that could slot in as well. They only improve this and they make it so much more viable. Whereas I think right now it's probably warranting of a 4 and 6 win rate. I mean, I feel like I took advantage of a few bots. I was surprised at a few of the decks I was facing in terms of Arisham. There was a deck with just a shovel out in the deck. So, yeah, it does have that feeling of a few players who've maybe bought the season passes and trying to use them a little bit. Completely respect it, just to be clear. It's just maybe a little bit tough when you're completely free to play. But, yeah, quite interesting. Okay, last thing before we go, we've got a Series 5 pack we can unlock, so let's do it. No idea what I want from here, but hopefully it's something interesting. Walking Taurus Falcon. Ongoing, the on-reveal abilities of your one-cost cards are repeated. I like Walking Taurus to a degree. I'm not so sure we can use him to the best of his ability right now. I'm going far that under. Could have pulled something better. We've got 3,200 tokens. Yeah. A little bit shy of getting a series. Well, I wouldn't do a series 4 pack anyway, but yeah, it's like we're a little shy of the series 5, I meant to say. So yeah. I don't think, like I say, I don't think it's a bad card, just to be clear. Walking is just not really what I wanted here and now. With that said, folks, let me know, what is your idea of a good go-to free-to-play deck? I mean, I feel like the next one I'm going to be going towards is discard. I don't know how I'm going to build or construct a deck for discard at this collection level, but I do feel like that's the next step I've got to go in. But if anyone's got any other ideas of stuff I haven't covered on the free-to-play journey so far, give me a little hint, because yeah, I feel like that's one of the archetypes we haven't touched on yet, so it'd be nice to give it a little bit of a little bit of a gloss over. But do let me know, folks. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll be back next week with another free-to-play episode as well as other Marvel Snap content. Until then, folks, have a good rest of your week. Goodbye for now.